Hi, first grade. We're getting ready to do some science. So, here we go. Oh, I just noticed something. Wow. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I'm going to move out of the way and see if you can. Can you see Bacon back here? Bacon, why are you sleeping? Oh my goodness. He must be so tired. I don't know why. Bacon, it's time for science. Oh, yay, I think we woke him up. Great job, Bacon. You're going to want to hear about all of our information today. It's going to be very important. So today we're going to continue talking about our lungs and breathing. We are going to be doing this page today. It's page 183, and we'll be doing the back side as well. Well, in our last lesson, we talked about how smoke is not healthy for our lungs. Well, if you stop and think about firefighters, they are around smoke because of fires very frequently. So there's some things that help them very much. So right here on his back, are you able to see that? You can look on your page. It's a tank, and in that tank is oxygen, and it helps them breathe. So he has a lot of gear on, and it might look a little scary, but all that gear is to help him, protect him. So he has these uniforms on, he has his head protected, and then this has a hose and it goes into the mask he's wearing so that he's able to breathe clean air rather than getting all that smoke down into his lungs, which would make him choke and cough very hard, and it can cause damage. So we want to keep our firefighters protected. So that's what they wear, those tanks on their backs. When we were talking about space earlier this year, we also talked about astronauts. Here we have some other examples of tanks and things that people are wearing to help them be able to breathe. So other people need help breathing too, it says right here. So let's look at this picture of this astronaut. He has his whole outfit on, and the astronaut is in space, and he uses an oxygen tank, which is on his back to breathe. See, and he's got his whole helmet on that has the mask in front, and he's able to breathe. Remember, the atmosphere in space is different than what we have here on Earth, and that's why it's important that he has to have that in order to survive in space. Here we have a scuba diver, and he is swimming under the water. Now, if you swim and you go underwater for just a few seconds or so, you're able to hold your breath. And then you come back up and you're ready to inhale and take another big, deep breath. But some people go underwater and they swim for a period of time under the water. Sometimes they're exploring, they're checking out all different kinds of fish. Maybe they're looking at coral reefs that can be so very beautiful. Well, right here we have a scuba diver, and he has a tank on his back. And again, there's a hose and an apparatus that goes into the mouth and nose, and he's able to stay under the water because this is giving him the oxygen that he needs to breathe. Now, I don't know if Miss Arnsey ever told you this or not, but last year she was in Spain. She goes to Spain quite often in the summertime because she practices and goes to school in Spain to keep learning more and more about Spanish because, she's a Spanish speaker and she teaches Spanish. Well, this last year when she was there, she had the chance to go scuba diving in Mallorca where she was staying, and she had some lessons, and it's the first time she had ever done it. And she said at first when you put all that gear on, you kind of feel like, oh, am I going to remember what to do when I go in this water? But she said they did practicing by kind of just floating on the top of the water and practicing. And eventually the instructors took them down deeper. And she said she was really able to see some incredible sights in the water. So she's actually done that. I have never done that. So she has done this. Sometimes scuba diving also, you can do it with just a little mask and a little piping tube that comes up out of the water. And that's more if you're just on the surface. But if you're going to go down, they call it deep sea diving. So yeah, that's what that is. Now also, this is nothing to be frightened of, but it's another way that we can help people. So sometimes this baby was born a little bit earlier than what would be normal. So what that means is sometimes they have a harder time breathing, and the reason for that would be their lungs were still developing inside, and they're not quite ready to be able to take all those good breaths that they need to get that oxygen flowing in their body. And so he needs a little oxygen to help him live, to be able to breathe. So that's why there's this tubing, and then there's two little pieces that are actually going into his nostrils, and that this is hooked up to an oxygen tank or a machine that is providing oxygen for that baby. And it's just another way that scientists have been so helpful. Many years ago, they didn't have some of these wonderful things, and it was much harder sometimes. But now there's so many advancements in our health and science that it gives better opportunities for these children. Okay, let's go ahead to our backside. Now you can really see the entire outfit of our firefighter. And at school, we do fire drills, and they're just practice. And the reason we practice is just in case there was ever an emergency of a fire, we would know what to do. Now, I know you've heard your teachers say this, but you need to stay calm. Does yelling and screaming and crying help? I don't know what to do. No, that doesn't help. But by being quiet and calm, you're able to listen to whatever person is in charge give you instructions on what you should do if there's some kind of an emergency. Also, many times, teachers are trying to count to make sure they've gotten everyone out of their classroom after you've lined up. So there's a lot going on. So you need to be very calm and just listen. If you're talking to your neighbor and you're giving instructions, will you be able to hear what you're told to do? Probably not. So that would be an important thing. Well, the same thing is for your family and friends. So it's very rare that emergencies do happen, but it's helpful for us to be prepared and ready so we know what to do if there were to be an emergency. So this is just a lesson about how to prepare for things and be ready. Chances are you'll probably never have anything like this happen, but maybe it wouldn't happen to you, but you might be able to help someone else too. So let's go ahead and look at this list and talk about fire safety, okay? And as I read this, we'll talk about each item, and then we'll put a check mark next to it in the box so that we know we've learned about that, okay? Never play with matches or lighters. Why do you think that would be an important thing? Well, could you possibly cause a fire to happen because, you were playing with matches and then you dropped it and there was a paper or there were dry leaves or something? Yeah, never play with matches. That's for adults to do and handle until you've been taught and you're ready to do something like that. So make good choices. Know the sound of a smoke detector. So your house or apartment, wherever you live, in the ceiling there will be smoke detectors. Now, that means what? They can tell that there's smoke in the house. If you were sleeping, maybe you wouldn't smell the smoke right away. So the smoke detector would go off and it would make a loud noise that would alert you, there's smoke in the house. can I tell you a story that happened one time? Oh my goodness, it's true. It's true. Long time ago. I was cooking something in the oven and some of it spilled out over the top of the pan and it dripped into the bottom of the oven and it cooked until it turned absolutely black. And then all of a sudden, I smell this horrible smell. I go over to my oven and smoke is coming out because of the burning food. And then before long is this loud noise. Yes, my smoke detector went off. So they can even detect if it's just something in the kitchen that's burning sometimes. So anyway, okay, so know the sound of your smoke detector, okay? Now, make an escape plan. So when we're at school, we totally know where to go and line up, don't we? Well, it's important also for your family where you live, if something were to happen, you know how to get out of your house, okay? So your family may talk about a plan possibly just to keep all of you safe, okay? So if there is something going on at school, it's important for us to get out of the school. Well, the same thing holds true at home to get out of the house. Don't go back inside your house. Go to a meeting spot outside. So maybe your family will decide, okay, if something were to ever happen, we'll all get outside and we'll meet out by the front lawn, or there's maybe a tree in your yard or something. But what happens when it says go out of the house and don't go back in? Yeah. What if you're on your way out of the house and you go, oh, but I really think I want to go get my favorite stuffed animal? No, it's more important for you to get out of the house and be safe, okay? Take care of you, get you out. Now, if you have younger children in your family, mom and dad will have a plan and they will know to make sure that you're getting out, okay? So listen to mom and dad and know your plan. There's also something important. If there happens to be a lot of smoke, if it's in your home or if you're in a building somewhere and there's a fire, you have to protect your lungs. Now, obviously, you're not going to have all that equipment like a firefighter will, but there's things that you can do that will help keep you safe. You're to crawl on your hands and knees down on the floor and go out to that meeting place that your family has planned out, or if you're in another kind of building, there'll be an adult there to help supervise and tell you where to go. Why are you to be down low? Because the smoke is up high. The cleaner air for the moment is down lower. So by crawling, you're not getting that smoky air into your lungs, and then you start coughing, and then it's very hard to breathe, okay? So you just stay down low and crawl to get out. Now, what would happen if you were in a 2-story house or a 2-story building and you weren't able to get out? That's okay. All you need to do is get to a window, and there will be firefighters, okay? You need to yell, or if you have something that you can wave in your hand so they can see you. I'm sure many of you have seen fire trucks that have the ladders on them, the ladder trucks. Well, that's for this very purpose. They will pull up to the building. They will extend the ladder all the way up to wherever the people are that need to be rescued. And that's what another job of a firefighter is. They're very much trained to do that. So they know what to do when these emergencies happen. Okay? So, now, what would happen if you were in a burning building, or if something happened and your clothes caught on fire? You know, maybe it's even just a little speck or something. There's a couple things to do, and I think a lot of you already know these, but we'll just review, okay? So you need to see, oh, I have something on me. I've got to get that fire off me. So you stop, then you drop down to the ground, and then you roll you roll. Do you know why you do that? It's so that the fire isn't continuing to get more air to keep going. You're trying to snuff out the fire or get the fire stopped. Okay, so you stop, you drop, and you roll. Okay? Now, if something like this is going on and happening, firefighters will be on the scene very fast. When they're called, 911 will dispatch or get firefighters quickly to the scene. And the firefighter, the man or woman, they will be there to help you. They'll take control of the situation, and there will be no worries on your part. Everything will be taken care of. So the most important thing is our very last thing at the bottom. Keep yourself safe during a fire. Okay? Keep yourself safe. So these are all of our safety tips to do. Now, this is just to be prepared. I don't want you to be frightened. I don't want you to worry about something like this happening. The likelihood of it happening would be not very much. It'd be pretty rare. But this is just in case. Just like we do our practicing at school for events, there would be a practicing for your family to make plans and just know what to do. If you know what to do, isn't that better than like, oh, I have no idea what I should be doing, so I think I'm going to get scared right now? No, that's not a good thing. So another thing we can always do, of course, as we're making good choices and getting ourselves out of a building or being very careful, can we pray to God to help us? Absolutely. Does God always hear and answer our prayers? Yes, He does. Is He listening all the time? Yes. And even He wants to watch over you and protect you. And He does. He does. So this is just some information for us to all have so that we know. Okay? Well, I hope you're having a good day today. And I will be with you again soon to do some more science. Bye for now. And I'm wondering, oh my. Oh, Bacon stayed awake. That's a good thing. Hopefully you stayed awake too. Okay, bye-bye.